are some of the books I'm going to be unhauling in the new year and why. To keep on brand with the season, since we're in the festive period, the first one is A Merry Little Meet Cute. I do tend to recycle my Christmas reads because obviously most of the time I feel like once you've read it, There's very rarely a book that I would reread each Christmas. I read 30 pages of this about a week ago and I put it down and there is no way I'm picking this back up again. I know it's probably some people's cup of tea. For me personally, this just was not it. It was just not the themes that I would want, especially in a Christmas book. It wasn't giving Christmas. And then we have The Gingerbread Cafe by Nita Faulkner. Also just finished this. It wasn't a bad book, but again, it was just like a mediocre Christmas book. I did find it kind of boring and there's just no way I'm ever going to reread this. I'm probably going to forget about it tomorrow, so I'm also going to give this away. On to just general books that I read last year that I just didn't like or just have no real want to keep them on my shelves. This one is the very first book I read of 2024. And it was also the first book that I DNF'd, so great start, from Lukov of Love. And I got so far into this before I DNF'd it. I was probably a good maybe 70% in, 75% in. I just couldn't. I literally just had enough. I just did not like the characters, unfortunately. I didn't like chemistry between them. I didn't really feel like there really was much chemistry. Found the characters really childish and immature and I just could not put up with it for another second. It was like listening to children bicker. So I did not like this, which feels kind of criminal because I know it is so many people's favourite, but this has been just sat on my shelves gathering dust and there's just no way. This was a hard DNF. Next we have The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. I had no issues with this book, to be fair. I really enjoyed it. I loved The X-Hex, which is the first book in this series. I had that on my Kindle. The third book, The Wedding Witch, which has come out recently, I'm also going to read on my Kindle, so it just feels a bit silly having one random book from this series on my shelves. I'm not going to be buying the other books physically, so it just feels a bit silly to have this on my shelves. But I did really like this. I would recommend it. Maybe not for this time of year, maybe give it another 10 months in October. I just don't need it on my shelves. Then we have The Keeper of Stories by Sally Page. I read this probably over a year ago actually, and it was just very mediocre. I don't really remember anything about this book. I just picked it up at the time and liked the cover, so I thought I'd give it a go. And I just remember being like a little bit of like magical realism, a little bit of maybe women's fiction, but it was kind of bland now I think about it. I mean, I can't remember a single thing about it, so. And whilst I love this cover and it is really pretty, there are better books to go on my bookshelves with prettier covers, so